You ever notice how it always plays out the same way? You're the one who listens the longest. You're the one who forgives the fastest. You're the one who shows up when everyone else disappears. You give the most, and somehow you get the least. You're loyal, you're patient, you're understanding. And what you get back is, I'm just not ready, I'm confused, I need time, I'm not good with feelings. Yet the people who give them half of what you give get twice the attention. You watch them chase that person, worry about that person, lose sleep over that person, while you're right there, steady, consistent, endlessly available. If being nice is supposed to be a virtue, why does it feel like a curse in your relationships? Why do you always end up being the one who gets used? Let's go into it. Because once you understand the psychology behind this, you stop blaming your heart and start fixing your patterns. Welcome to Emotional Psychology Coded. Today we're decoding why nice people get used in relationships. Not in theory, in your actual life. Let's start with the first uncomfortable truth. You are not getting used because you're nice. You're getting used because you confuse being nice with abandoning yourself. And users, they can smell that from across the room. Think about how you show up. You remember their favorite food, their bad days, their childhood stories. You notice when their tone changes. You feel their moods like weather. You worry about them more than you worry about yourself. You explain their behavior to your friends. You justify their disrespect to yourself. They've been through a lot. They're stressed. They're not like this with everyone. They told me they're broken. So you decide, I'll love them so well, they won't want to hurt me. You make being good to them your project, your purpose, your identity. What you don't see is this. Every time you protect them from feeling uncomfortable, you teach them that you are optional. Because here's how the human brain works. We learn what's valuable by what resists us. If I can break something easily, I treat it as fragile, disposable. If I can push you, ignore you, neglect you, and you always come back, my nervous system reads, this connection can't be lost, I don't have to work for it. They don't think that out loud. They just behave like someone who doesn't fear losing you. Because you've shown them, they won't. That's the first reason nice people get used. Your fear of losing them is bigger than your fear of losing yourself. Users sense that, and they use it. Second reason, you show up like a partner for people who show up like a guest. You give relationship energy to people who give you situation energy. Watch what you do. You prioritize them, you make space for them, you carve time out of your life for them. You rearrange plans, you sacrifice sleep, you spend money, energy, attention. Them, they show up when it suits them. Late replies, last-minute plans, half answers disappearing when things get heavy. But instead of matching their level of investment, you compensate for it. You double down. More patience, more excuses, more I understand. What does that teach them? This person doesn't need reciprocity. They'll keep giving, even when I don't. In psychology, that's called overfunctioning. You overfunction emotionally. They underfunction. The system balances at your expense. You become the emotional parent. They become the emotional child. Parents give, children receive. And children, they don't worry about using their parents. Users don't think, am I asking too much? They assume you'll keep supplying. And you do. You're nice, remember. Third reason, your niceness hides a contract. You think you're just giving, but you're not. Under all that generosity, there's an unspoken deal. I will love you unconditionally, and in return, you will eventually see my worth and never abandon me. You don't say it out loud. Half the time, you don't even admit it to yourself. But your nervous system is clear. If I'm kind enough, patient enough, understanding enough, you'll eventually choose me. So you tolerate things that hurt you now, because you're chasing a future payoff. One day they'll wake up, one day they'll realize, one day they'll say, "You were there for me through everything. You're the only one who truly loved me." You're not in a relationship. You're in a long audition. They're living their life. You're waiting for your role to be recognized. Users love that. Because from their side, there is no contract. They never promised to repay you. They never agreed to your terms. So you end up resentful. How could they do this after everything I did for them? Easily. Because the agreement you were operating on only existed in your head. And they've been living in reality. Fourth reason. Nice people are allergic to conflict. You hate tension. You hate raised voices. You hate the idea of someone being upset with you. So you bend to avoid it. They cancel last minute. You say, "It's okay." They talk to you in a way that stings. You say, "I know you didn't mean it." They cross a boundary. You say, "I'm not mad, just disappointed." You're not lying, you're just editing. You dilute your anger so they don't feel guilty. You water down your pain so they don't feel like the villain. You swallow your truth so they don't have to face theirs. You think that's compassion. It's not, it's fear. You are more afraid of losing their approval than losing your self-respect. And people who are afraid of conflict are very easy to use. Because the user knows. You will not confront them, you will not expose them, you will not leave without warning. You'll hint, you'll sulk a little, you'll cry quietly, then reassure them. But you won't draw a hard line. So they keep pushing, just to see how far they can go. It's not always calculated, sometimes it's instinct. We test people, we push, to see where their boundary actually is. When we find out there isn't one, we don't suddenly become better. We become worse. Fifth reason. Your niceness is a lighthouse for broken people. You attract the ones who are not ready, emotionally unavailable, traumatized. You find them or they find you. Either way, it locks in fast. They tell you a sad story about their ex, their childhood, their depression, their anxiety. You feel their pain, you empathize so deeply, you almost inhabit their body. And you say silently, "I'll be different, I'll be safe, I'll prove love doesn't have to hurt." Now you're not just their partner. You're their healer, their therapist, their emotional rehab. And what does rehab do? It absorbs damage, it holds everything, it expects very little in return. You don't ask for much, because they've been through enough already. So you let them cancel, you let them ghost and come back, you let them have meltdowns that shatter you. You excuse everything, because in your mind, you're doing holy work. Saving someone. Here's the dark truth. Some people don't want to be saved. They just want a soft place to land, while they keep destroying themselves. Your niceness doesn't transform them. It cushions them. They use your empathy as a mattress. You absorb the fall, they get up and jump again. Nice people get used because they think loving the broken means letting themselves be broken in the process. It doesn't. Sixth reason. You don't leave when the bill arrives. Every unbalanced relationship sends a bill eventually. The exhaustion, the anxiety, the feeling of being the only adult in the room. Your body starts keeping score. You're more tired, more irritable, more insecure, more obsessed with their mood than your own life. Your self-esteem drops, your joy drains, your other relationships suffer. That's the cost. Nice people see the bill and still stay. You tell yourself, it'll get better, they just need time. I've already invested so much, I can't walk away now. You mistake sunk cost for destiny. But the real reason you don't leave is simpler. You are scared of starting over. You are scared of being alone. You are scared of what it means if this doesn't work. Because if this doesn't work, maybe that means being nice didn't save you, didn't protect you, didn't guarantee love. So instead of facing that truth, you keep paying. With your time, your body, your mental health. Until there's almost nothing left, and then they leave anyway. Nice people don't just get used because others are selfish. They get used because they stay long after the price has become unbearable. So what do you actually do with this? Do you become cold? Do you become cruel? Do you stop caring? You could. A lot of people do. They swing from too nice to I don't give a damn about anyone. But that's not power, that's another mask. You don't need to stop being kind. You need to stop being consumable. So you start here. You stop offering relationship-level loyalty to people still acting like tourists in your life. You match energy, not fantasy. If they are inconsistent, you stop being endlessly available. If they disrespect you, you don't argue for 10 hours, you step back. If their words are sweet, but their actions are sour, you believe the actions. You stop building a case for them and start collecting evidence for yourself. You start telling the truth, even when it shakes. That hurt, I didn't like that, I need more than this. If this doesn't change, I'm gone. You hold your line. Not by screaming, by following through. You begin to understand. Being used once might not be your fault. Being used repeatedly becomes your pattern. And patterns, you can rewrite. You also start asking a different question. Instead of, why do they use me? You ask, what part of me only feels valuable when I am being used? The part that only feels important when you're fixing. Only feels wanted when you're sacrificing. Only feels secure when you're overgiving. That part is the one driving. You can be nice. Just not nice instead of honest. Not nice instead of boundaried. Not nice instead of awake. You are allowed to be kind and expensive. Loving and hard to use. Soft heart, sharp mind, steel spine. That's the version of you that doesn't get used in relationships. Not because users don't come near you, but because when they do, they have nowhere to attach. If you recognized yourself in this, don't just nod and move on. Go back, listen again. Find the one place in your life where you know you're being used, and instead of being nice about it this time, be honest. Say the thing you never say. Draw the line you've always moved. Walk away from the table where you're only ever on the menu. You are not put here to be a resource for people who refuse to see you as a person. You can be nice, but you don't have to be available to everyone. I'll talk to you in the next one.